So, yesterday, two things happened. One, the Emperor of Japan actually abdicated. The first time in 200 years that has happened. And the other thing that happened is the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer came out. Last night I had this Twitter rant about the trailer, but the more I thought about the actual trailer and how terrible it was, the more I started to hate it. Now, to preface this, I don't hate Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog actually has a very special place in my heart because it was the first video game I ever played, and it was the first video game that my mother taught me how to play as a child. I played Sonic on her Mega Drive. I then destroyed her Mega Drive with a Vegemite sandwich. Since then, every subsequent release of Sonic the Hedgehog that came out, like the Generations, Adventure, everything, we kind of bonded over that video game. It was the only video game we actually bonded over. So the series for me has a special place, despite its failings. But this trailer, it's just, it just makes me so angry. It's like watching Batman vs Superman in the theaters. I watched that and I was just angry. It's such a disservice to the character of the franchise that, oh my god, it's just, it kills me. It literally kills me inside. I didn't care about Sonic Forces being terrible, whatever. Video games have been terrible for a while. They're bad video games. But they still kind of tried holding the essence of the character, where this is just like, besides the portal rings, besides the bad CG and everything like that, the actual trailer itself is terrible. So I think the best way to look at this trailer is through the lens of Detective Pikachu. Because Detective Pikachu came out last year and a lot of us were apprehensive about it. It was the first live-action CG Pokemon film done by an American company, most American producers, some Japanese ones of course. We were apprehensive, to say the least. And the first trailer came out and it kind of melted away all those apprehensions. It did everything right. Sonic the Hedgehog didn't, at all. It actually, I think, made things worse. So let's kind of try and break down why the Sonic trailer was garbage. The one thing that I love about the Detective Pikachu trailer is that the first shot kind of introduces us to the world. It shows us Pokemon and humans living in harmony in live action and shows us that there's multiple Pokemon, it's not just Pikachu. The logic of a movie, no matter what it is, whether it's Avengers Endgame, whether it's Star Wars, and that's a problem I think with Star Wars The Last Jedi, is that there's a logic to a film universe. That could be anything. Like Back to the Future is the time travel. Avengers is superhero people living in the real world and the effect of that. The first Detective Pikachu trailer showed us that, yes, the logic of this world is that Pokemon live there. The Sonic trailer does not do that. It doesn't. Sonic feels like an outsider, that he doesn't exist, that he's not a thing of this world. And some of the leaks of the actual movie plot do say that he's an alien from an alternate planet or whatever. Introduce us to that concept. Not be like, oh, there's this thing that runs around and it's for some reason the Flash, but as a blue hedgehog. Which there has been no video games at all with Sonic with lightning. There's none. There is none whatsoever. This is kind of why I think the trailer falls apart, especially to Sonic fans. Sonic doesn't have lightning. He has this like aura thing around him. The trailer shows the lightning and does this like kind of flat, like the Flash TV show has this like, he's getting pumped up, the lightning's around him, then the lightning flashes over his eyes and he goes, I gotta run. Run, Barry, run. And Sonic does the exact same thing. And there's also the fact that he's an EMP for some reason. Like, I get that he can go the speed of sound. That's fine. That makes sense. That's what Sonic's always done. But no, he's an EMP now as well. His electricity is basically the Flash. He's basically the Flash as a blue hedgehog. Well, I say hedgehog, but deformed CG DreamWorks creature, maybe? The start of the Sonic trailer actually doesn't start out too badly, in my opinion, because it has Sonic doing his thing. He's running in front of a cop. It makes sense to show he's really fast, and the cop's like, whoa, oh, he's fast. Now, admittedly, like I said, the Green Hills reference on the car makes no sense because it's a bit strange. Why wouldn't they use another reference to anywhere else in Sonic? Like, is this the United Federation? Is this Earth? Who knows? They could have called it anything, like maybe, I don't know, Emerald Town. Emerald Town's a double reference. It would have been perfect. They could have said, this is Emerald Town, it's like a country town now. That's fine, it makes sense. Both of these moments clearly show that the people making the film, whether they were the English producers or the Japanese producers, because I looked on the staff list on Wikipedia, and there are a lot of hands in this film. It is, like, I feel sorry for the writers and directors because they clearly had to deal with a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and Sonic cooks don't really make a good meal, unfortunately. The film doesn't make Sonic feel like Sonic. Even Ralph Breaks the Internet had the perfect I wouldn't say perfect, but a representation of Sonic that felt like Sonic, and even had the voice actor from the video games. A Disney production did Sonic the Hedgehog better than a Sega production. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Comparing that to Detective Pikachu, okay? Most of the Pokemon look like, or at least are grounded in reality to their animated counterparts, and it works. Like, Pikachu is fluffy, Jigglypuff is fluffy and has a curl, Mr. Mime looks creepy as hell, Charizard has scales, and Greninja is a frog creature. It makes sense, and it works. It clearly shows that the people who made the CG of Detective Pikachu, made the film, give a shit. That's basically it. It feels like they give a shit about Pokemon. They know and understand that people love this franchise, that people grew up in this franchise, and that they have to do well to continue to make more money. Sonic seems like Sonic from 2005. Normal voice of Pikachu. She's been the voice of the character for more than 20 years. She's known worldwide. They didn't just throw her out for some big name movie star like Ryan Reynolds. They had a great voice actress to do that line, and they just got her to do it. They, you know, it's the first time she's been in an American production that's this big. That doesn't matter because they know that people like those small details. To put some good points on the trailer, like Jim Carrey as Eggman is actually pretty cool. Jim Carrey is playing Jim Carrey here, that's it. It's just Jim Carrey. It's 90s Jim Carrey playing 90s Jim Carrey, and I love that. I loved Ace Ventura, I loved The Mask, I loved The Grinch, you know? Jim Carrey is an amazing actor and really fun to watch. He's just not Eggman. It's just not, that's not Eggman. Yes, I understand it's like this canon story that Eggman was a normal person, then got corrupted by a nuclear egg. Sonic's weird, guys. Follow down that path instead of doing whatever they're doing here. Like the end shot where Eggman looks like Eggman looks really cool. But it still doesn't, I don't think he will play it like Eggman. One thing that I think this trailer does a disservice is fan service. You could take Sonic out, put any other CG DreamWorks creature in there, and it's another kids movie. That's all it is. It's the small details that count, and there are no small details. Like, even Sonic's shoes are Nikes after Sonic Team said, no, we can't get rid of his shoes and gloves because that's what makes Sonic look like Sonic. They got rid of them. Okay, now the music. This is where I think that also the trailer falls apart, basically. Now I understand that both of the first trailers of these movies did have newer pop music to show off. In the second trailer, they used a little adaptation or a little riff of the first anime opening, and that's really cool. It's a nostalgia thing, because you watch a Star Wars trailer and as soon as the music starts ramping up and it's the classic Star Wars music, you're like, oh, here we go. Most trailers do that perfectly. Sonic the Hedgehog didn't do this perfectly, and Pokemon don't really have as many great themes to sort of adapt. Sonic, on the other hand, despite all of its video games being, you know, half crap most of the time, have really good music with Crush 40. Live and Let Learn, City Escape, and even the Green Hill Zone music could be adapted into trailer music. And the fact they didn't do that and used Gangsta's Paradise, oh my god, I guess Sonic is now a G, yo. Well, now there's this Twitter user, Owen Douglas, who remixed the trailer and put "Don't Stop Me Now" there instead, which makes sense because Sonic goes really fast, so he can't stop. And also, they have the line "Supersonic." Make a supersonic man out of you. It's perfect. It's perfect for Sonic. It's perfect for the trailer. What are you doing, Paramount marketing? Holy crap! It was right. It's like putting the Iron Man Black Sabbath song with the Iron Man movie. It works. A lot of people are giving shit about the ring portals, and I kind of forgot about this, and I don't like it per se, because to me, the rings are like a source of energy that if you get 100, you get special powers, Chaos Emeralds, and all that sort of stuff. That's how it works in the video games. But here they use them as portals. And like a lot of people are being like, oh, why are they doing this? It doesn't make sense in Sonic canon or whatever that is. But if you look at the Sonic Mania opening, they do exactly that. It's been there since day one in the video game, where Sonic was teleported into the special stage through rings, but he had to get 100 rings to do that. So if they're going to do that, hopefully he gets 100. I doubt it, but I hope he does. Now the freeze scene is basically the impact scene, the one to get you hyped for the story or some really cool special effects moment. But not only was it seemingly like it was ripped out of X-Men, because for some reason Sonic can stop time now without a Chaos Emerald. Anyway, Sonic can't stop time. He doesn't have the speed force around him to do that. He's not the Flash. He is Sonic. He has to keep moving to run. That's what he does. He just runs really, really, really fast. And you can't run on the spot if you don't have a treadmill. Anyway, like I said, it just seems like to me that no one really gives a shit. Like, the team at whatever is making the Sonic movie just doesn't care enough. This trailer reminds me so much of Dragon Ball Evolution, and that movie was absolute dog shit because it basically shit on everything that made Dragon Ball really good. And that's basically what it feels like it's happening here. Like, it would have been great if we had some better music, any reference to like Chaos Emeralds, or like, oh, I'm actually searching for the Chaos Emeralds, or like Shadow, Tails, even anything, like anything that I can grab onto to say, yes, I feel like these people know what they're doing, because here, it doesn't feel that way. Like, I understand that fan service can be tacky. It can be. It can be really, really annoying, but here, if they just did a little bit to get the fans on board, it would help in the, like, spread greater joy about the film and excitement to be like, okay, they know what they're doing. I just don't understand how in 2019, when Avengers Endgame just made $1.2 billion on its opening weekend, because it's being helmed by a guy who actually knows what he's doing, Kevin Feige, and how we can have Detective Pikachu come out that looks really good and is a legitimate contender to take down Avengers Endgame. And like a few years after we got Sonic Mania, a fantastic game that was made by fans of the series that understood what made the series great, we get a film like Sonic the Hedgehog, where it just seems like they were like, let's just make some money off an old property. And the problem with that is that it's 2019. People care now. You can't just make Dragon Ball Evolution and think, oh, this is gonna make money. It doesn't, because we've been burned. We know. I've got cousins who are like 40 who played Sonic. I know people who grew up playing these video games who are now like the prime demographic to take their kids to this film. But they're not going to, because it looks like absolute crap and it's not from their childhood. They'll be like, oh, we'll just watch Detective Pikachu again, or you know, any of the other much better looking films out there. I had to make this video after seeing that trailer. I just had to get some feelings out there. So, I want to thank you guys for watching this rant video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like videos like this, please let me know down in the description as well as anywhere else, just so you know, I know that you guys care more about rants and annoyances. If you really like this video and you definitely want to see more, please, of course, check out my Patreon page and be like, cool, this looks really good and stuff like that. And yeah, until next time, I've been Dr. Dazza, and until then, matane.